Wake up! Pinky, wake up! An unknown voice whispered. Pinky groaned. Why was Miss Cake waking her up so early? It was only 2 a.m. Pinky rolled over, her eyes fluttering open, like butterflies flapping their wings for the first time. Like an unfocused camera, Pinky's vision was not clear. When she finally wiped the sleep out of her eyes, Pinky saw a horrifyingly familiar face in front of her. Pinky quickly shut her eyes, then opened them once more. The face was still there. Hi, her reflection said. Pinky was about to scream, but her reflection covered her mouth with a hoof. Pinky mumbled. She struggled to get out words, as her reflection's hoof was clamping her mouth shut. Her reflection finally let go, and Pinky breathed heavily. After she calmed herself, she faced her reflection angrily. Why did you do that, Pinky Mina? What's your problem? The reflection just shook her head and sighed deeply, as if Pinky weren't understanding the obvious. Pinky, you don't know? Really? Pinky shook her head, her expression slowly morphing into one of confusion. Pinky, well, I'll just explain from the beginning, since you obviously don't understand. All right, here goes. Oh, and no interrupting. I'm trying to help you here, Pinky Mina exclaimed. Pinkie Pie hesitantly nodded. She didn't know what to think now. She was still confused and a tad bit angry at her own reflection. She was also mistrusting of Pinky Mina. This was the same reflection that stole away her happiness, after all. On top of all these emotions, Pinky was scared of her reflection. Her fear took over her brain, so she complied with Pinky's demands. Okay, so, as you know, when you were a filly, you got very depressed. As a pony, you have some magic inside of you. All ponies have magic, and it can be channeled through their wings, their horns, or even the earth. But you have a very special way of creating magic. Through your emotions. You were so depressed, your emotions created a form for your depression. Kind of like how a glow is cast when a unicorn uses magic. Your glow is in the form of a pony. I am this pony, am all of your depression. I am very much real, even if I'm made out of magic, and I didn't feel like the feeling of depression. At the time, you could have done whatever you wanted with me. You could have cast away your depression forever. But since you were so upset and naive, you didn't try to do anything about me. Realizing that I had power in your mind, I persuaded you to take all this depression at night, so that I could have some time to be happy. Forgetting their agreement, Pinky angrily growled, So you tricked me! You manipulated me! And that's not nice, you know! Pinky Mina just sighed and shook her head again. Pinky, you're not understanding. You manipulated yourself. I am all in your head. But I thought you said you were real. I am mentally real, not physically real. No pony can see me. That fact, however, doesn't make me any less real. I am only real to you. Therefore, I am real. Yet you still control me. Now, may I continue? Sure. Great. So, as I was saying, I am mentally real. I am in your head, but magic is created in your head. You created me out of your emotions and your brain. Now, at the time, you were so broken, you couldn't control me if you knew how. Therefore, I made you a deal. Since I was still part of you, you still had all your depression, and something in the back of your mind told you that was dangerous. You then created this deal with yourself, so you wouldn't be as dangerous. But as time went on, you regretted this decision. You were also gaining more power to think over yourself. Using your thoughts and some persuasion from your friend, you battled this part of your conscious, until it was completely shut itself down. It did, however, break through at points, and that's when you would have your episodes. But, you see, this is part of your mind that has been gaining power, and it has now muddled into your thinking. I am here as a medium. I help guide these thoughts to you. I am the magic that created these thoughts and me. This is not your magic anymore, for when you shut us down, you shut away the magic as well. We have used that magic to gain power, control, and you now have a choice. We don't want to be locked away anymore. You can either give us you, or you can give us your happiness. We are tired of you prancing around while we suffer. You know that you have to pay for all these years of pain. Pinky, we will give you time to decide. Give us your body or your happiness. Just remember, it is all about power. Pinkamena stared Pinky in the eye. Pinky trembled over her glare of ice, slashing through her soul. She had a tough decision to make, and try as she might, she couldn't control herself to think away this magic. It was too powerful. It was dark magic, and Pinky hated it. She tried to struggle away, but she was trapped, chained. She had to make a decision. I will give you until next Sunday. At sundown, you must give me your final decision, or we'll make it for you. Pinky could tell her reflection was about to leave. Wait, she shouted. Wait, I have a question. Well, spit it out. It's almost sunrise. I must go. All right. Are you really real? Pinky asked, her voice shaking. The reflection stared at her. Her eyes were no longer ice. They were dull and unblinking. Suddenly they changed. Fire was in Pinkamena's eyes. A devilish grin spread across her face. She turned towards Pinky, spitting every word. But under the fire in her voice was the sweet, refreshing sound of sympathy. Pinky, I explained this to you. I am as real as you think I am. With that, Pinkamena was gone. She was visiting her each night now, but each night her eyes grew less and less scary, her tone less and less sharp. She was turning into a friend, not a monster. The two talked, and Pinkamena comforted her. However, the cozier the two got, the more Pinky wished for the nights to come. The more she wished to see her friend, and she didn't even realize what was happening. Pinkamena was reeling her in, like a fish on a hook, and Pinky was taking the bait. She was becoming more and more distant, and she didn't even notice. She wasn't talking to any pony, and only one friend had any idea why. Applejack had called Pinky and told her to come over. She obliged, oblivious to Applejack's intentions. When she got there, Applejack tried to weasel some information out of her. Hey there, Sugar Cube. I noticed you seem kind of, distant lately. Anything you want to talk about? Pinky's conscience realized the farm pony's plot, so it instructed Pinky to shake her head. Nope, I'm perfectly happy. Super happy. Happy as a Pinky on a birthday. Pinky even forced a half smile onto her face. However, she was lying straight to Applejack's honest face. She was feeling more and more depressed, and with her depression came the power of the dark magic. It was taking control of more and more of her mind, and Pinky let it. All she wanted was to be happy, and if ignoring Applejack helped, so be it. Well, if, you want to talk about anything, just come by the farm. All right. Bye, AJ. Bye, Pinky. With that, Pinkie Pie trotted away. Let's go home. Tomorrow's the big day, Pinkamena said. Pinky just nodded and trotted home. Applejack watched from the barn, just shaking her head. I hope she's okay. I couldn't tell if she was lying or not. Applejack yawned. Oh well, I can try again in the morning. Good night, Pinky, Miss Cake said. Pinky only nodded in response, too deep in conversation with Pinkamena. But I want to be happy. I don't know what to do. I want to be happy, but then I'll never talk to my friends again, Pinky exclaimed. She was right. If she allowed the dark magic to take over her body, and not just her brain, then her entire being would belong to the magic. What she didn't know was that either way, the dark magic was going to take over her entire being. If it took away her happiness, she would be depressed enough for the magic to consume her and give up her body, as there was no point in being alive anymore. Pinkie was wondering if she should let it take her over, but what she didn't know was that it already had taken her over. It had taken over her mind and body long ago. The magic had been chipping away at her conscience, and at sundown on Sunday, she would finally fall apart. The dark magic would finally have defeated laughter. The dark magic would make a chip in harmony. But really, it was the dark magic that defeated laughter. It was laughter that defeated laughter. The dark magic just played Pinkie. It muddled through her thoughts, making her believe that there was no other way to save her happiness than to give it up. So, really, Pinkie was just chipping away at herself, breaking herself down. The dark magic was just helping. Well, good night, Pinkamena. We have a big day tomorrow. Pinkie then fell asleep. Yes, she had a very, very big day tomorrow. For tomorrow, she would be gone. Forever. I just can't deal with this anymore, Pinkie Pie wailed. She had had the worst day of her life today. All her friends had avoided her, and now she was as depressed as ever. It's okay, Pinkie. You know I want to make the sadness stop. I can do it. You just have to help me out in return, her conscience said. You can do that? Please, make it stop. Okay, Pinkie. I can make everything stop. Just calm down. I can go make the bad go away. Forever. And in return, you just have to let me snap my fingers. But Pinkie wasn't listening anymore. She was wailing and shouting, Make it stop! If it could, the dark magic would have sighed and rolled its non-existent eyes. Pinkie, I can make it stop. When the word stop was said, a loud snap was heard. Suddenly, Pinkie felt an immense pain in her stomach. What is that? It hurts so bad, Pinkie screamed. It was as if some pony were twisting a knife around in her stomach, and they seemed intent to not stop. Shh, Pinkie, it'll all stop hurting in a minute, a voice said. If she weren't in so much pain, Pinkie Pie would have noticed that the voice was not the voice of her conscience. It was the voice of some pony else. Or something else. As soon as it started, the pain stopped. Pinkie dropped to the floor, her eyes glazed over. She was glowing a pale blue, and that pale blue was shooting straight out of her heart, into a glass bottle. When the last of the pale blue aura was collected, the bottle was sealed shut, and Pinkie got up. Her mane was hanging limply, and her coat and mane were a sickly, almost gray-pink color. Pinkie's head swiveled around, and she gazed at her cutie mark. It was gray as the sky on a rainy day. Pinkie Pie blinked her pale blue eyes and sighed. All she could feel was the weight of sadness in her stomach. The pain and the sadness was hers to bear now. She had been tricked. Finally, laughter is mine. If everything keeps going like this, night, then chaos shall truly rule very, very soon. Come, you need to regain your strength. A lion's paw gestured for the glowing mist to follow. It obeyed. Its yellow eyes gleamed in the darkness. On the way to their cave, the creature looked at the jar again. Small in his lion paw, yet so powerful. His yellow and red eyes narrowed. He smiled a devious smile, his gleaming snaggletooth showing. 1 down, 5 to go.